Yo, this is Dorky Diggity Dave, and today we review Marvel's Captain Marvel. It's a lot of Marvels. Welcome back, guys. I did get to see Captain Marvel, and so I remember Marvel saying like a couple of years ago that they were trying to subvert the structure of the typical origin story. I'm guessing too many people were like, dude, this movie's just like Iron Man, and then they're like, Doc Strange, this movie's just like Iron Man. You know, and it just kind of kept repeating over and over, and they were just kind of reusing that origin story formula that they had. So the question is, were they successful in Captain Marvel? I'd say yes. They didn't have like the usual start from scratch hero origin story. It was kind of pieced around, and you got to see like a fully formed Captain Marvel right like at the beginning. You got to see her fully costumed, all that kind of stuff. And then they kind of like retraced their steps throughout the movie, which I think was a breath of fresh air for me in terms of Marvel movies. Now, Captain Marvel is a Marvel movie, and for you that could be really good, and for some that's probably not so good. You see, the formula works, and if that's what you're looking for, then it's gonna be just fine. But if just fine is all you want and that's all you're satisfied with, you're gonna love the movie. If you're looking for something a little more different, it may not. For example, I'm like a big fan of Captain America Winter Soldier. I love the first Avengers, I love the first Iron Man, because when I left the theater, each one of those movies gave me this feeling of like, I can't wait to get back in the theater, see that again, see what I missed. I love the Winter Soldier because it was such a different thing. It was a departure. It felt different, felt more gritty, felt real, and it was a departure from the usual, more humorous Marvel. And maybe that's what I liked about it, as opposed to some of the other more humorous ones. But I did feel like I had some kind of connection to it by the time I left. And that's not to say that Captain Marvel is bad. It's a fine movie. It does everything right. It tells the story properly. It fleshes out the characters properly. There's minimal plot holes. The supporting cast does great. They had a good villain, and the villain had the right motivations. It was complex. You can, understand it. You can agree with it, or maybe not agree with it because it's villainous, but you get what I mean. Now, one of the things that I distinctly remember about Avengers is the score. Like, that score stays in my head even till now. It's like embedded there. I love the theme of the Avengers. I remember it. I also remember the theme of Guardians of the Galaxy. I remember the theme of Iron Man and Iron Man 3 when they changed it. I remember all of those things. It sticks in my head, but I don't have a memorable theme from Captain Marvel. I couldn't tell you what I think that even starts to sound like. It's just, it sounds like they downloaded a track from like youmakesoundtracks.com something. I don't know if that's a real website. Somebody should check that out. I don't know. So, but it felt like that. It just felt like very generic music. And I think maybe that also had a part to play in some of the more predictable aspects of the movie. Now, the action looked good, the CG looked good, and you know what? The part of the CG that looked very, very good is this de-aging thing that they are getting better and better and better at, to the point that they've made it into the entire movie. Obviously, Samuel L. doesn't look that young in real life, and it looked pretty seamless to me for most of the movie. I mean, once you can get CG to the point where you can't even really tell and it just kind of disappears in the background, that's good CG, except that their faces are in the foreground. Not really background, but you know what I mean. I think where the problem lies for me is that it didn't do anything really new. It didn't break any crazy ground other than the fact that Marvel had a female lead. And I don't think that's enough for me to say that this is something excellently, awesomely new. It's kind of like getting one of those S iPhones, like they change the shape of the iPhone and you're like, oh man, that's an awesome new form and everything. And then they do the exact same phone with like a camera with like 2 more megapixels and like a faster processor. It's still a good phone, but it's not really all that much different than the other one, if that makes any sense. There's nothing bad about it. It's actually better, but not enough. Anyway, with all that being said, one thing I'm very, very, very happy about is the fact that while it's empowering, it isn't a female empowerment to the point where they're shoving it down your throat like over and over again, hear me roar type of stuff, cough, cough, CW shows all day long. It's nothing like that. It's a lot more intelligent about it. It's story driven, and the fact of the matter is the real theme of the movie is never stay down. I hope that's not really a spoiler, because that's just kind of like the theme of the whole thing. Never stay down. And it's not women don't stay down, dudes don't stay down. It's everybody don't stay down. If you fight hard enough, you can make it. That's the kind of thing, that's the kind of theme that inspires people and empowers people. And I'm very, very happy that they stuck to that and not made it such a political type thing, because if they did, that'd be a real shame. Now, I'm not entirely sold on Brie Larson as the lead. I didn't get that strong lead, that strong leadership lead, because I mean, if she's supposed to be the future face of the MCU, I don't know if I see that. Now, she's written in confidently. She's supposed to be confident, or maybe she's not supposed to be confident, I don't know. But to me, she just kind of came off more cocky than confident. And for some people, that just might be a turnoff for their heroes. Some people love a confident hero that's complex and has issues, but cocky changes things. Now, I'm a real fan of the fan casting of Emily Blunt, because that I was really looking forward to, because I really absolutely loved her in Edge of Tomorrow. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I like a certain type of person in a certain type of role kind of thing. But whatever, that's what opinions are for, right? Now, to clarify this, I also didn't like Halle Berry as Storm. I was really disappointed by that casting, and I would have much rather had Angela Bassett. I feel like she has a stronger presence, has stronger gravitas, and would have really nailed that role. Now, Larson does well enough. I didn't hate her in the role. I didn't love her, but I also didn't love that dynamic between her and Fury. I wasn't sold on that buddy-buddy type of thing. It felt really forced to me. And speaking of really forced, Brie Larson's face when she's trying to do like the serious moments in the movie really comes off as like a forced, serious face. Like, look at me, I can be intimidating, you know what I mean? It kind of came off like this. You know, like a pouty type of thing. I don't even know if I did that right. I'm not an actor, so obviously it was bad. And as for a certain part of Fury's backstory, I didn't like it. I wasn't happy about it. But now that I think about it, I think what they were trying to do is trying to turn things around and not be so typical, because I think what I was expecting would have been typical, and I think they actually addressed that in the movie about where something would have been typical, and then they turned it around on its head. So it might be an actual genius move. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but as of right now, I didn't like it. Anyway, look, if you like Marvel movies and you've seen them all, there's really no reason why you wouldn't go and see this one as well, because Marvel still makes good movies, even all the way down to like Iron Man 3 and Thor 2. I still would have went to see those in the theater. I love being in the theater when those movies come out. I love the experience. I love the action. I love the crowd, and everybody gets excited when a movie first comes out like this. So for me, I like that experience. Some of you may want to wait if it's not as good as, say, Winter Soldier or Civil War or Avengers Infinity War, stuff like that. If those are the only ones you go to, then this one isn't exactly up to par with those. But if you're the fan or a fan of all of them, yeah, get in the theater. Well, look, it certainly isn't the worst of the bunch. It isn't the best of the bunch, obviously. I think I put it somewhere between Ant-Man and Doc Strange, or maybe on the same level as Doc Strange. I don't know, I haven't made up my mind about how I feel about that yet. I probably want to see it one more time just to make sure I saw what I saw, and to finalize all those ideas and thoughts. If you have thoughts on this, or if you've already seen it, go ahead and put those thoughts down below in the comments. We can all discuss, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Once again, this is Dorky Diggity Dave. You just saw my review for Captain Marvel. Did you guys like it? Didn't you like it? As you heard before, put that down in the comments below. And if you did like the video, go ahead and click subscribe, click like, leave a comment, share it with your friends, share it with your mama. All that stuff helps me out. And remember, stay dorky, and I'll catch y'all on the flip.